Hello everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. Welcome back to May I Scraplift You. So for today, I'm going to be working with a Scraplift from Francesca Montenorio. I think that's how you say her name. Could be wrong. It's up in the corner so you can see it. She is on a design team for Peaky Scraps. I've never actually heard of it, but I love this layout, and so we're going to go with it. I have a Valentine's Day photo that I thought might work. If not, I will grab a photo of Sean and I or a different Valentine's Day. I don't know, but this is what I'm going to start with. I'm going to build the layout and then add the photo is kind of my plan. My goal in April is to continue working with scraps and my stash and really digging in deep and using up my stuff. So what I did is I pulled this beautiful Tales and Dreams from Pretty Little Studio collection. I had a plan on making a layout with it back in, I don't know, March or February or something, and it did not work the way I wanted it to work. So I have a bunch of these little squares, which I can trim down if I want, use as layers. I don't really know, but I just thought that the colors worked really well, so we'll see if I can get any of this in there, maybe for layering. I really don't know, but it does have these florals, so I'm thinking I could fussy cut out these florals to use versus grabbing the ephemera packs that have the florals. I just like the pop this has with the black. So I actually think that is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put these florals back. I'm probably gonna grab some Shadnee Etsy wood veneer to go with it. But yeah, that's kind of my plan. So I have my piece of black paper so I can cut into it. I'm going to, I think I'm gonna hand stitch or machine stitch. I need to see if I have black thread, if I can machine stitch, because I think that might be the way to go. And then I probably will find a cut file so I can spell out the word love, and maybe I can use that with some of these colors to back the cut file with. That's where I'm at. I'm gonna get you on fast forward and let's see what I can come up with. The first thing I'm going to do is fussy cut out these flowers on this larger pattern paper. I don't end up doing the smaller ones. It's not needed, which you'll see. One thing I like about this particular one is it's an easy one to fussy cut. Sometimes the florals are so intricate and it can be a lot, and then your hands start to hurt and you get annoyed and it takes forever. These are not those type of flowers. I do suggest that if you are not the biggest fan of fussy cutting, that doing something like buying the big ephemera packs that have the florals, they're a great option. If you just are not into fussy cutting for whatever reason, just go that route. It'll do the same effect. So the next thing I need to do is I decided not to do stitching. Instead, I am going to take my piece of black paper, and I did the math. So 5 divided by 12 is 2.4, or 12 divided by 5, whatever. You know what I mean. And so I cut a strip by 2.4 so that I could then trace with my black outline. And this black pen that I have is like dying, and so it's a little frustrating because I had to keep like going back over it, and it's very subtle lines compared to a crisp, like clean pen. It would be nice and dark, and well, you know, it's fine. Thankfully, I don't make any mistakes with the exception of one little spot where I draw it off. Thankfully, though, I will just find a way to cover it up. But this is how I got the idea. And of course, this layout, and the reason why I loved it so much is because it's like a crossword puzzle, right? Like that was the point of it, including her numbers and little black spots and all of that. And I was so drawn to this layout when I was scrolling by trying to figure out which layouts I wanted to use this month. And it's like the first one, I was like, I need to get this done. So it was fun to kind of just play and work with some florals. Again, this collection, it was so pretty, and I had this plan to use these squares and make it work, which did not work And so I had this stuff all left over. So thankfully it was already cut into, which does make it easier to use when your paper has already been cut. I struggle with that, but I've got it down. So we're there. We've got the base going on. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut my photo down. I think it's a little bit larger than the 2x4 by 2x4. I think I make it a 3x3. I'm going to place it right where I see it in the sketch. And then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do about my title. I want to follow this. This is pretty much an exact Scraplift, with the exception that I'm using a different collection and some different alphas. I did have that all in need. Those words, I think I have the same alpha, so I used a bit of them, I think. However, I had to manipulate a few things, like I have 3's as E's and all of that. The cut file I am using is from Confessions of a Paper Addict, and it is actually meant to be like a hanging, like the word love is hanging off of a little, I can't think of what you call it right now, but the things that things hang off of, a bracket, I don't know. It's a really gorgeous cut file, and I cut it so I can make the word love fit. I'm adding the word and dirt because originally my plan is to use this cute photo of my kids playing in the dirt. However, that's going to change. You're going to see that in a minute. I'm just following the Scraplift and literally putting the numbers where I see the numbers on her layout because it looked good there, so why not just follow it? It is a little weird to me that the 5 is up there, and anyways, I let it go. It looked good. I'm fine. And I just kind of place them where I see them on hers. I will then spend a bunch of time layering in all of the florals, trying to figure out where I think they should go. I finally figured out. I was trying to decide what I wanted it to do, where things should be overlapped. I kind of have them where she's placed them. However, again, I have different size florals. They're a little bit different, so that's not exactly, but for the most part, you can see it and you totally get the nod to the sketch. So that part's, it's not a sketch, Chrissy, Scraplift. So that is great. As I'm working through this in the back of my head, however, I'm thinking, I feel like I've seen this photo somewhere. Like maybe I've done a layout of it. And so I'm just kind of thinking about that as I'm playing around. I'm going to layer a few of the flowers and use some fun foam to make some of them stand out. I really just was trying to get the colors to be even. This was the hardest part. And I kept it all in so you could see me layering it all up, because it just shows you that we don't always know exactly where things are going. Even when you're doing a Scraplift, you don't always know where your elements are going to go. And it's okay to take that time to make it work and make you happy. Make sure the elements are in places that you like. And if it didn't work for you in their layout, that certain thing didn't work for you, you don't have to add it. Scraplifts are just like sketches. You take the inspiration that works for you to inspire you to create, and you run with it. You don't have to do an exact Scraplift. However you can, and mine is pretty close, but it's not exact. So, okay, I'm thinking about this. I'm going to cut my V and E apart as well, and then it's going to dawn on me that I have seen this particular layout before, and where it was from is I used it along with the second photo, because I have two photos, and I already created a layout with them. So I'm going to take that photo away, and I'm going to replace it with this one of Jackson and Nora cuddles with me. I think it might have been for Mother's Day. It's possible. I have to have a little look to figure out where it's going in my album, but I loved the photo. I love Nora just kind of peeking through there, and Jackson with his tongue sticking out. I think it's really cute. So much fun. And the way I was able to fix my E, because when I cut it, there was a bit of a diagonal going on because they were joined, is I just layered in the flower there and covered it up. You can still tell that it reads love, and it works just fine. So there's always ways to fix things. If you want that separation in a cut file, it's not working for you, you can figure it out. You can cover things up. I fixed my little error when I was tracing, and I made a line go into the white where it wasn't supposed to go. All sorts of things can be covered up with embellishments. Now all I have left to do is add in some of my Etsy, it's not my Etsy, it's Shadnee's Etsy goodies. And I'm going to add in these gorgeous flower wood veneer. I have 3 different like flowers. They're 3 different styles. And so I'm just layering them up, making sure that styles aren't right next to each other. And I only place them in the large flowers. And then I'm going to go in with these gorgeous gold leaves. They're like metal, but they're not heavy. I don't even know how to explain them, but they're fantastic. And I highly recommend you get your hands on them. They just add that perfect little pop. So I added 3 of those. I did try to get the 4th one in, but then it didn't look right. And I didn't have a 5th to make it, you know, an odd number. So I'm going to pull that out and not use it. I tried though. I really did try to use it. It just wasn't working. I couldn't make it fit anywhere that I wanted it to be. And then the last thing I'm going to do is use one of the cork hearts. Now these are awesome because she has included a sticker back to it. So you just peel off the white and you can stick it down. You don't even have to use your own glue or anything like that. As sometimes when you're using cork, it can be very hard to get it to stay and use glue and all of that. So this is super easy and I love them. I am going to have the links for all 3 packages that I've used in the description box below. So you can get your hands on them if it's something you are interested in. So after doing all of that, I decide I'm happy with it and I think I've done a pretty good job with the Scraplift. I hope that you had fun going along this journey with me. Make sure you check out all the other layouts for May I Scraplift You Today, and I will be back soon. Here's a look at my finished layout. Bye everyone!